Alright, finally round 3 of week 1 of season 22. As you can see, I already lost. I was not able to clear their 3 diamond Annihilus, and they were able to clear my 5 red. Um, he is still kind of a liability because a big part of his new gimmick is that he ping-pongs between uh, well, below and under 75% health, which means you can never really one-shot him in one go. You have to do it over 2 turns or come up with other shenanigans. And at 5 red, unfortunately, he does not heal back enough, so you are able to kind of get through the Cosmic Rod. So it is what it is. He'll be 7 red eventually, probably a couple more weeks, because with no Power Core income, it takes forever to get through Dark Dimension. But yeah, still learned some stuff. I have an idea of what I can try next time I see an Annihilus on defense. But with that, let's see how those attacks went. Okay, so stage 1, nothing too special. We've seen this comp before, so I'm just gonna blast through it. This is still pretty decent. It's easy to get through, but it's guaranteed to take some efficiency away because your Dormammu's gonna die, so it's not a bad comp to run. This person needs to fix their ISOs though, so that Phoenix takes the hit to make it a little bit harder to deal with, especially since you get some fast attacks in before you go. But yeah, I'm just gonna blast through this one because we've seen this one plenty of times before. But yeah, Jeff does the special, then X heals them all up, and you focus on Omega Red to just kill him out real quick. Boop, boop. And then you kind of just slow play this until Phoenix's last one. Good positioning with Shadow King at the end so that he gets to do his special to, cause some trouble. Realistically isn't going to do much because I still have all my revives, but, if someone comes in with a slightly non-traditional comp, that could cause problems, or if they don't focus Omega Red properly. But yeah, this is a pretty safe attack. It just costs you Dormammu because you want to just make sure nothing dies, or at least Jeff doesn't die before he goes. Once diamonds are in play for Jeff, this is probably no longer a good defense, because as long as he just doesn't die, and he barely doesn't die already, then you're not going to lose any efficiency. And damn, that's a pretty brutal attack. And then you pause, and that's it for this one. Stage 2, this is a pretty popular defense these days because it kind of breaks Accursed, but it sort of forces you to use Daemon here, or, I mean, there's other stuff you can use here as well. I think Daring Warriors eats this alive as well, but that's rare to have that on offense. But yeah, this guy alone can kind of kill your Accursed, and if he doesn't, then Cannonball will finish someone off, and it can just go off the rails at that point. But with the Daemon comp, especially if he gets hit, it's, same as always against any Daemon comp. Alright, stage 3, so definite overkill here, but had some extra stuff left over because room 6 is nothing too crazy. Cancelled attack against Annihilus means I saved another team, plus I've got a little extra on offense compared to usual because I'm trying to figure out how I can get through new Annihilus. But at 3 diamonds, it's almost impossible to get through the healing that he does if you have him with a real team. So, this is pretty clean and fast, kind of crazy. So, Quasar goes first. Special, I'm just trying to blast through Nova here. And because of the exposed, those are some extra pings, which immediately just killed Nova. Then the basic with Odin, and Star Drivers can't do anything against the battlefield effect. So they kind of just kill themselves here. That's 2 swipes, and then blast our ultimate. Kinda just kills everyone else plus the assist. So 3 turns. Odin's still a pretty good character apparently. Alright, so stage 4, not too crazy of a room to be honest. There's a lot of things that can kill this. I kinda went with this sort of fun comp. This looks spooky, but it's mostly going to be an efficiency sink unless someone's really stretched super thin. Plus this guy looks scary, but he's not really going to do too much because he's really slow. So if he's taking a turn, something's probably gone very wrong. Where is he? Whoa. What is he? 121. So yeah, he's got like a shit ton of health, especially because of Sus and Mephisto, but I don't think you're ever at risk of losing this, assuming you bring a real comp in. And Sentry alone kind of trivializes this. Black Knight was here just to make sure Sus doesn't go too crazy, because once Sentry goes and uses a special, or actually on his turn, I think Speed Bar is back on the table, so you don't want him going crazy. And then Null is also a safety here in case this guy does take a turn, but as you can see, they all just kind of fall apart immediately. And then Breaker's also going to heal them up and just destroy them. So easy peasy. Alright, so stage 5. I'm not going to show this one because it ends up being kind of frustrating. IMX, you do the sack to take away all the special energy, so they use their ultimates on the first turn, and then you've got kind of a clean runway. This here, unfortunately, almost worked. So Satana got targeted down before she could take a turn, which is unfortunate. She got hit by one Storm basic, and then his basic also hit into her, so she's guaranteed to die on her turn from the reflexive ping. I don't know if she would ever survive, to be honest, if she gets touched before she goes. Juggernaut was wasted here. He doesn't do anything, and he's not really protecting the team, so there might be something else that you could do here to protect the team. But basically, Helverine ult almost killed Storm, Jubilee, and Morph, but didn't. So if Satana had taken a turn and brought someone low, that would have been an entirely different story, but she didn't. And then I did the Azazel ultimate and paused, and you can see, I'm setting up a potential Daemon attack with their low health. Unfortunately, this is giving a combat cancel, which is why I'm not showing all the replays, because it kind of defeats the purpose. But what happens here is you go in, Daemon goes first, this guy at 3 diamonds does his reflexive ping, and heals the entire team back up, way beyond any sort of Daemon range, especially with Storm here. So this is kind of a frustrating thing about him. Unless you kill the rest of the supporting cast, assuming he has a real team around him, it's almost impossible to finish him off afterwards. So I got to save my Daemon, my APOC, and my Executioner here, so this is kind of why I was overkilling other rooms. I do think a version of this could actually work, but it's also size dependent. So this guy's 1 diamond. I don't know that anything you do with 2 or 3 diamonds would help. Jubilee might always be the weak link unless you get her to G21 and then she has a real health. But yeah, we'll see. I might try an Accursed thing next time against this composition and see what happens, but I don't know if at 3 diamonds it'll ever work. And finally, stage 6. This one was interesting. I was a little worried about this for good reason, because it's Blue Marvel and then a bunch of idiots, but also Minerva. I say a bunch of idiots because they're new stats, but they're not doing anything. They're slow, they're not preventing anything, they're giving out some death proofs or something. I also think Empowered Thanos actually has all his old abilities, so you actually don't really want Ebony Maw and Cull giving him the Infinity Stones, which is kind of awkward. But anyway, my problem with this one was I wasn't sure how Minerva works in terms of who she decides to resurrect. Is it the last person you killed? Is it the first person you killed? Plus, I also assumed that Shadow King would go ahead of her, and he doesn't, which is actually very surprising to me, and you'll see why. So, Invisible Woman ultimate on Blue Marvel. So that's 1 Shadow King ping. So that goes out. Yep. And then we do a Torch special. Boop. Still trying to kill. Okay, that's why she got ahead. Actually, this might have been a coin flip because they've both gone past and they're both 125. Because there was only 1 ultimate, I guess. So let's see, 125, and I'm pretty sure Shadow King is 125 as well. Shadow King 125. Yeah. So. Oh, she gets 25% though, and I get 50%. Okay, so that's why she went ahead of Shadow King. Potentially. Actually, no, here's my second ultimate, so I've gotten 30% speed bar at this point. I guess that death pushes her even far though. Okay, yeah. So here, because of all the deaths, because her passive, let's look at this. I don't know, I hit on stats, but her passive, on ally death, she gets 25% speed bar. So I've killed a bunch of people around her, so no wonder she goes ahead. And then here's the weird thing. if someone has died, she will special instead of ultimate, even though she has energy. So, boop. So yeah, see, she can do both, but because someone has died, she's going to opt for her special, which is weird. She's, I guess, hard-coded to do that. So she does this, and I'm worried like, uh-oh, is that going to be Blue Marvel? Nope, it was what's-his-face, so we're good. And then we just clean up. So this is interesting in that if you let her resurrect Blue Marvel, this could definitely go very wrong. So I kind of like her. I think you can do some fun stuff with her, so I might play with that as well. But otherwise, you know, not a very crazy room. Could have also done some Captain Britain thing in here, but I didn't. So that was it for round 3 of week 1. Not a great start, 1 and 2, but the Annihilus buff is very tricky to overcome. So I think until I have him at 7 red, I'm not going to be winning too much because I probably can't clear those rooms, and my opponents can still clear mine even if through brute force. So yeah, probably a couple more weeks of losses, but maybe we'll be able to find something fun to take care of Annihilus. I think I've got something with a curse there, but I'm not entirely sure. Plus, who knows what other combinations we're going to see. So with that, I'll see you next time.